I have been wearing jewelry since my mother got my ears pierced when I was 2 months old. My mother always had me wearing like earrings, a necklace, a bracelet. Growing up, I took it for granted. It wasn't until I left home for college and I lost access to my mother's jewelry collection that I realized how important jewelry is. But it's only been in the last decade or so that I've actually started trying to build a jewelry collection of my own. In this video, I'm going to be giving you tips on how to build a jewelry collection and give you some recommendations on brands to try and inspiration. Let's get started. I think before you do anything jewelry related, I think it's important to know your sizes. And when most of us think about buying jewelry, we think of going into a store, trying on pieces, but we're buying more and more things online. You can buy pre-owned jewelry at places like The Real. You can buy vintage pieces on Etsy. So knowing what size ring, bracelet, or necklace you wear or even prefer is always a benefit. I myself recently had a situation where I bought some jewelry during the holidays. I just guessed on my sizes. I guessed so wrong. I was like, I have a 13-inch neck. No, I don't. I barely have a 14-inch neck. This necklace right here is 16 inches. This bracelet right here is 6.5 inches. This one is 7.5. My real bracelet size is probably closer to a 6 3/4 or a 7. I had to learn that the hard way. Know your measurements. It's almost like knowing your size when you're going shopping. I think most people know their ring size. I recommend knowing the sizes of things you want. If you already own pieces that you like the size of, I say measure them. If not, get a shape measure and measure your neck, your wrist, and you're good to go. The best way to get started with jewelry is just to start experimenting, but on a cheaper level. I'm not saying go out to Zara or H&M and buy 50 necklaces. I do think there are a lot of brands out there that will allow you to buy certain pieces that you're interested in. If you don't know anything about your style, your preference, how you want to wear jewelry, I think it makes sense to buy things that speak to you, but on a cheap level. So let's say you love statement earrings, but the ones that you like at Shopbop or a cup are $500, find something similar at a lower price retailer. I feel like brands like ASOS, H&M, and Zara have really good statement earrings that you can wear. They may not last forever, but they do allow you to play around with styles. If you don't know anything about the style of jewelry or how you plan to wear it, I do think experimentation on a cheap level, on a small scale is important. Don't go crazy. I know when I started experimenting with pieces from Zara, I bought like one 3-piece necklace set. I also ended up buying some like very cheap rings from Mejuri. I hadn't really worn rings very much, and so I really wanted to try them out. It wasn't until I tried to stack rings that I realized I don't like any jewelry that I have to take on and off on a regular basis. It's not my jam. As you're experimenting with lower cost jewelry pieces, this is the time for you to figure out how do you like to wear your jewelry and the type of jewelry that fits your lifestyle. I am what I would consider a low maintenance jewelry wearer. Meaning I want to wear my jewelry for days on end. Growing up, my mother would always give me like earrings, a necklace, and a bracelet, and I would wear it for a couple months, and then she would swap it out. They were 14 karat gold. I would definitely make sure I would clean my earrings, but most everything else got cleaned when I took a shower. But I am in the habit of not taking jewelry off. I hate taking jewelry off. I've been wearing this necklace probably for the last week or so, showered in it. My bracelets, I showered in it. I shower in my earrings. I'm very low maintenance. I don't need the variety of daily changes. I like everyday pieces. You may be a type of person where you're gonna be a more high maintenance. So meaning every day you're gonna put on rings, change your necklaces, add different bracelets. That's fine. In this experimentation phase, these are the things you need to know. When I came into the experimentation phase, I had a lot of everyday jewelry and I started adding statement pieces. I still love statement pieces, but I had to realize I am never going to be the person that's going to do a ring stack every day. Once you figure out whether you're low maintenance, high maintenance wearer, it's going to impact the type of items you buy. As everyday jewelry wearer, I tend to go for pieces that are more classic. They're going to be much more expensive because I need the things that can stand being in the shower every day that are not going to tarnish. So I'm going to have to either go for things that are solid gold or 18 karat gold plated vermeil. If you're a more of a high maintenance wearer where you want to change things out, then you're going to be able to buy pieces that are going to be of a lesser quality. The main reason for that is you're going to be taking them off at night. Because you're able to spend less, you can also have more variety. I know it's kind of contradictory. I think the maintenance really comes down to how often do you want to remove your jewelry. Once you figure that out, you'll know whether or not you are going to be low maintenance and need to spend more money, or you're going to be high maintenance and you can spend a little bit less. The next thing I think you need to figure out is what type of metals you prefer. I personally feel like I look better in 14 karat yellow gold. But that doesn't mean I've never experimented with platinum, white gold, or even silver. I do own a few pieces that have mixed metals, and I do foresee myself buying like a mixed metal Rolex, but truthfully the majority of my collection is gonna be yellow gold because that's the color that I personally prefer and I think looks better on me. There are rules about which metals look better on what type of people, and it really depends on your undertone, but what I found is everybody gravitates towards something. I have definitely met people who look better in yellow gold, but they just gravitate towards white gold. That's what they wear more often, or they feel like the white gold goes better with the clothing. There are definitely hard and fast rules, but this is more so about your preference and what you're gonna wear. If the rule says you look better in yellow gold, but you don't like yellow gold, wear white gold. For me, I look better in yellow gold. I prefer yellow gold. So I'm gonna stick beside her. Once you've done some experimentation and you figure out what metals you prefer, I think it's time to figure out what your actual style is. What I often tell people is take a look at the pieces that you currently have that you've purchased and see what you have in common. If you definitely go on Pinterest, make an inspiration board and take a look at that. The main thing is that you take a look at the items that you either have or are inspired by and see what they have in common. I like bright colors and clothes that stand out. So for my everyday style, I like pieces that aren't going to compete with what I'm wearing. I would say most of the pieces that I like are more classic. They're very dainty. One of my friends likes to say I'm a daytime diamonds person. I think that describes me perfectly. I like pieces that are more on the dainty side. You may like pieces that are more on the statement side. I like items that are classic. You may like things that are more modern or more contemporary, more edgy, more boho. I'm not saying that this is the only style of jewelry you have. I prefer pieces that are very, very classic, but I do own statement jewelry pieces that I wear for videos because sometimes I do want a pop of something. And in the summer, I buy pieces that are a little bit more boho because I like to wear like maxi dresses and sandals. And I feel like these boho pieces blend a little bit better than maybe some of my dainty classic pieces. We all have a style that we gravitate towards, and that's what we're planning to build our core jewelry collection. All the other pieces are going to just be extra. Once you feel like you have a good idea or definition of your style, it's time to now pick your core jewelry pieces. When I say core pieces, I'm talking about the pieces you can wear every day. The main reason I picked the style first is you want to make sure that the core items you buy are in line with your style. When I think of core jewelry pieces, I like to start from the top and go all the way down. So the first core piece I think most people need to have is a stud. And that could be like a diamond stud, a metal stud, even pearl earrings. Something low profile that you can wear every day. My style is very classic, but if you're more edgy, instead of a stud, you could have a spike. It really doesn't matter. Next up, I recommend buying hoops. This pair is just really simple, really thin. They're 14 karat yellow gold. I usually wear hoops when I can't put anything around my neck because I want to have something interesting around my face. You don't have to get simple hoops. You can get hoops that are diamonds. They don't even have to be circles. They can be triangles. They can be whatever. But I do think a hoop style is a good core piece to have. The next core piece I think is one or more necklaces. My mother's one of those people who has a rule that a lady should only wear one necklace. I don't abide by those rules. When I wear necklaces, I tend to wear 1, 2, 3, or 5. If you're interested in how to layer necklaces, I do have a video about layering jewelry. I do talk more about the rules of how to layer necklaces correctly. The size of the necklace really depends on you. I personally like smaller necklaces. When I first started experimenting, I bought a bunch of smaller necklaces that I then kind of stacked. As my confidence grew, I started buying larger, more statement pieces. Although I wear my statement pieces like once or twice a week, my core pieces I wear almost every day. In terms of necklaces, I think you have a lot more variety. I think most people get things that are links, but you can get very small links, or you can get medium-sized links like this, or even large paperclip necklaces. Next up, I recommend a bracelet. I always knew I was a bracelet person because before I started buying gold bracelets, I had a bunch of plastic bracelets. In my closet, I have a whole display of bracelets, and so I already knew I was going to invest in bracelets. In terms of bracelets, I think a link bracelet like this is perfect. Medium-sized chains or even metal bangles. The core pieces you pick really are dependent on your style. Last but not least, our ring. I'm not a big ring person, but I do feel like everybody should just have a ring. There are times when I wear them because I want to accentuate my hands. 2019, I got it in my head that I wanted to learn how to stack rings. I bought a bunch of stacking rings from Mejuri. I probably spent less than $200 on these rings. I still utilize them. I would definitely wear an engagement ring and a wedding ring and maybe a ring on this hand. There's no downside to owning rings. These core or everyday pieces are the pieces that you're gonna build your foundation on. These are the pieces that as your collection grows, you're gonna mix and match with other things. I think the main thing you wanna look for your core everyday pieces is one, they have a lot of flexibility. For your core pieces, you don't want something that's super specific that you can only wear with one outfit. For example, most people cannot buy a pair of like dangly chandelier earrings as their everyday earring because it doesn't make sense for most people. There are some people it will work for, but the majority of us, we need something, either a small hoop or a stud. Once you have your core pieces in place, then it's time for the final, what I would consider the longest step, is investing in items as you go. When I started my jewelry collection, I started off with metal stud, just because it was the price I could afford, and I moved up from there. I've had cubic zirconium. I now have small, low quality diamonds. When my budget allows, I'm gonna buy a better diamond stud because these earrings are my workhorses. I'm still gonna keep these. Starting off with lower budget items and investing as you go allows you to really determine what pieces are gonna be your everyday workhorses, the pieces that you can invest in. I wear diamond stud earrings 90% of the time. Diamond studs are something I'm always going to invest in and upgrade. Starting off on a lower budget and investing as you go really allows you to know which pieces you're going to use and treasure. I bought a pair of very cheap pearl earrings. I've worn them maybe 2 times. I know that I will never invest in pearl earrings. Another reason I like to buy things on a lower budget and investing as I go, once I'm able to invest in items that are more expensive, the lower quality items I can use for travel. There are a lot of people who like to take their super expensive jewelry when they travel. There was a Keeping Up with the Kardashians episode where Kim Kardashian bought like $75,000 earrings and she jumped into the ocean, and I believe she lost one of her earrings and she ended up crying. It was a whole entire meme. If I travel, I'm not going to take my most expensive diamond earrings. I'm going to take a pair that's maybe one step below. Whenever I travel, I always lose jewelry. So I would rather lose a cheaper pair of earrings than something that is $75,000. I don't have $75,000 earrings, but if I did and I was headed on a tropical vacation, those $75,000 earrings would be in my safe. I would be wearing my $2,000 pair on the plane. Jewelry is super, super personal. The investment stage is the largest stage, and it's also a stage where things are going to change. If you invest in solid gold pieces and in the future you decide you don't like them anymore, you can always sell them, melt them down, give them to somebody, have them reworked. There are so many options. With jewelry, nothing is a permanent commitment. You can always rework jewelry. I say have fun with the investment stage. All right, so those are my tips on how to start a jewelry collection. Let me know in the comments which stage of jewelry collecting you're in. If you're interested in how to layer jewelry, specifically necklaces, I'm gonna link my video about that here. All right, see you next time. Bye.